Idolatry, or another way to describe this, is disordered worship. Worshiping something in creation instead of the Creator. Idolatry is the source of sexual sin. And there are two kinds of idolatry we see in the Bible and we see in the world. Category one is pagan or religious idolatry. Pagan and religious idolatry is marked by conscious worship. This is where they name the gods that they worship. The gods, the idols, have names, temples, and statues. And for billions of years, or billions of people over thousands of years, have bowed down to statues. This is the way much of the world still worships today, that we actually bow down. People bow down to statues. Here's Artemis of the Ephesians, if you want to put that picture up. This is the fertility goddess in Ephesus. And this goddess was worshipped by millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people. And this is just one of many gods where people go in and they light incense, they make sacrifices, and then they bow down and worship Artemis. This is still practiced today with different idols all over the world. This is the first type of idolatry. But we are too sophisticated for that. We don't do that in America. Probably none of us have ever bowed down to an idol. Seriously, we've never done that. There is a category number two, though, and this is secular idolatry. Secular idolatry. And this is marked by unconscious worship. Unconscious worship, where the gods, our false gods and idols, do not have names, temples, and statues. We don't consciously go worship an idol and bow down to a statue. We don't do that. So what we do is we make good things God things. We make good things God things. Colossians chapter 3, verse 5 is an example of this, where Paul talks about how the love of money or greed is idolatry. When you love money more than God, it is idolatry. Jesus says you will either serve God or money. Money is the other god that you can give your life to. Secular idolatry is when you make good things God things. We can do this with family. Family is a good gift from God, but it can become God of our life. We can do this with sports or education, our careers or hobbies. We can do this with our reputation, sex, career, ministry. The list goes on and on and on. It's when you make a good thing a God thing and you bow down in your heart to worship it. You look at it as the thing that gives you life and meaning and significance and power. And I need you to notice that there's no option in verse 25 of not worshiping something. We will worship something. Paul does not say they exchanged the truth of God for a lie and decided not to worship anything at all. That's not the way that this works. We are designed to worship. You will worship someone or something. And all idolatry is rooted in a lie. This is what we see in verse 25, that all idolatry, pagan idolatry or secular idolatry, is rooted in a lie. Verse 25, they exchanged the truth of God for a lie. Now, what is the lie? What is the lie? What is the lie from which all idolatry flows? Well, here's my best understanding. It's when you believe something created is more glorious, more valuable, more life-giving, and more satisfying than the eternal Creator God. It's the belief that something created is more glorious, more valuable, more life-giving, and more satisfying than the eternal Creator God. So why did people bow down to Artemis of the Ephesians? Because they believed that Artemis was a great god, that Artemis had power, that Artemis could give blessing and success. Why do we bow down to our hobbies? Why do we give our lives to our hobbies? Why do we give our lives to entertainment? Why do we give our lives to money? Because we believe that money or sex or family can provide significance, the significance that only God can actually bring. And this is the human condition apart from the grace of God. We are all idolaters. We all worship different things instead of God. We have all exchanged the glory of God for idols. Now, why does this matter? Well, it matters because all sin flows from idolatry. All sin flows from idolatry. One scholar says, in every instance, the giving up to sin is a result of idolatry. The refusal to make God the center and circumference of all existence, so that in practice, the creature is exalted over the Creator. Hence, all individual sins are the consequence of the failure to prize and praise God as the giver of every good thing.